It is question time now. If you want to ask a question, I'd ask you to, one, wait for the microphone to come. We have two in the building. Second, to give your name and your affiliation. And three, to ask your question, directing it at anyone on the panel if you specifically want a particular person to answer, so that you're not disappointed. So please feel free to ask. Oh. Not a question, really. Yes, there's one lucky man in the middle.
Jeremy Smith, QED Naval. Direct my question towards Anna and Mark. I appreciate the very good presentations. I'd be interested in the costs associated with installing the foundations within a typical field development.
Hi there. Yeah, it's a good question. Obviously, we, as I said, addressed the installation side of things from a very early stage, whereas a lot of the seabed mounted turbines, the installation seems to have been an afterthought. Specifically, the foundations, we're going with a gravity type anchor system for our 2 megawatt turbine. The costs, I should give you actual figures, but I'll kind of put it in the ballpark. We're certainly aiming to install the mooring system for our 2 megawatt for under $500,000. And we're developing a gravity anchor construction method and an installation system specifically to do that.
Well, I think, yeah, generally we can say that the installation costs are a lot lower, mainly because there's no leveling needed, both moored to the ground, and we don't need any specific lifting vessels. So the vessels we use are a lot cheaper than the ones you'd need for the installation of bottom-mounted structures. And I think overall we can say that Mark and I do have the same philosophy, which is very good. And we're both coming from the same point that a lot of costs can be saved on both installation and operation and maintenance with a floating solution, with a slightly different approach, of course. Yeah, not quite sure if this is the right opportunity to go into the details. There's so many people in the room, but that's something that we usually disclose under an NDA.
Just quickly in there, in terms of the cost, I mean, I've given you some ballpark figures, but yeah, for a single turbine, the total mooring system we would be looking to install in under a week on time. So the installation cost that I mentioned includes, you know, the time taken for the installation of the foundations.
Okay. We have another question somewhere.
Yes, Dave Pye from Seacon. This is rather inevitably for Rob Wyatt. You mentioned a cost of $750,000 at the moment for a connector system. That isn't just the connectors, is it? That will include the umbilical terminations, crossovers, and other deployment devices, I assume.
Yes, thanks, Dave. Yes, it does. That figure is not just for some wet-mate connectors, but it includes everything that a developer would need to hook up his subsea cable to the device. So that would include things like all of the junction boxes, breakout boxes, cable protection systems, associated jumper cabling, penetrators into the through the bulkhead of the nacelle. Thanks.
Okay. Any other questions? No? Okay, well, we will have an early coffee break then after all that effort to make time. Can we put our hands together and say thank you very much to the team of presenters, who I think did very well against my... And thank you too for attending. I hope it's been useful despite your lack of questions. Thank you very much.